Niall McGregor here for SevereMMA.com in New York City. On the line, all the way in Philadelphia, is my man, Mr. Paul Felder, who obviously arrives in Belfast for UFC Fight Week coming up in a couple of days' time. Obviously, Severe MMA, myself, PT, all the gang will be there to cover the fights. First of all, Mr. Felder, always good to chat, my man. How are you? How are things? How's the eye? How's everything? How's life?
Things are good, man. The eye is on its way. I'm still waiting to get officially cleared from the doctor because there was a small fracture in there as well as the cut. So the cut is, as you can see, it's pretty much gone. The scar is limited, but the fracture is what's slowing me down. Haven't been able to get back to sparring since the fight, so just doing a lot of pad work and some jiu-jitsu and strength and conditioning, but itching to start sparring and getting back full time.
Obviously, Paul, I'm here in New York for UFC 205. Eddie's obviously your teammate. I want to get your thoughts on the fight itself. You know, Conor's obviously, we spoke about it all fair, probably has the best hands in mixed martial arts. Just your thoughts on the fight as a whole.
Man, it was just disappointing. You know, I train with Eddie and I see how hard he works, and I know he's got a family, and this was the biggest opportunity that he's ever had in his career, and for him to go out and he didn't, he knows it. He said it afterwards. He didn't follow the game plan that him and Mark had constructed, and I think Conor. I think that's one of the things that makes him amazing is the way that he can lull you into a boxing, into the fight that he wants you to have, which is a talent. That's not saying that, I'm not saying that he was lucky that Eddie threw punches with him. He made that the case, stuffed the takedown, and man, his accuracy is disgusting. He touches you, it's on your chin. So, are you still in the?
Yeah, New York.
You're still in New York?
Yeah.
When do you go back to Dublin?
I live here, man. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to go home. I'm back tomorrow evening. I'm going back. I said I'd stay around a couple of days.
So you want to stay? You want to stay here, and I want to go back over there. That's
yeah.
We'll trade places for a couple of weeks.
Let's do a trade, man. Yeah, big time. But in relation to that, Paul, everything. It's been crazy here all week. Obviously I'm covering it here. Eddie isn't that type of guy that likes that.
Yeah.
You gone? You gone?
I don't know if it's you or me, Niall, but we're breaking up. Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Can you see me?
I'm trying to move to a different spot. Huh?
Have you got me now?
Yeah, now I got you.
All right, cool. In relation to Eddie, Paul, the circus, everything that comes with Conor, as we said there, was that a major factor in the whole week? Everything that went on, because he's a family guy, he doesn't like.
No, normally I think that is a big reason that guys kind of fold to McGregor, but I think Eddie was handling it well. He was talking back. He was trying to insult him. He talked a lot of trash, and it seemed that maybe he was getting a little bit on Conor's nerves. And then the night of the fight, man, it seems like Conor's able to let it go, and other people that fight him don't seem to let the hype go. He seems to go in and just own the space.
Yeah, 100%. You got a bit of shit on Twitter yourself. There was a lot of Irish fans giving you shit for. I don't know. You maybe fill us in on what happened with that situation before you get over to Belfast.
Yeah,
you don't want your head cut off.
No, it's just, which is one of the reasons I was glad we were able to talk today. I just posted a video of me and a lot of my friends. I was doing an appearance at a big bar in Philly, and there was a ton of Eddie supporters there. And, we're obviously cheering Eddie on. He's one of my friends and teammates as well. So I don't know if people realize that. They're like, what kind of Irishman are you? This and that. It's like, well, before anything, I've got to support my team. You know what I mean? I mean, I train with this guy. He's my friend. I respect him. I like him. I look up to him. But it was never meant as an insult. And I was talking about it. Well, I'll wait till this comes back. I was talking about it today to one of our other coaches that I've always been one of the first people to compliment Conor, even if he fights people I know, or he's in the running to fight somebody I know. I've never given that guy anything but props on his skill
Yeah.
level, and people took it to heart and came at me a little bit, and it's all fun and games on Twitter, but I just wanted the people over there to know, especially the fans that are going to be in Belfast, that I love going over there to Northern Ireland or Ireland. It doesn't matter where I'm at, and it's fun. I'll be drinking pints, and if people want to give me the finger and say McGregor's the best, they can do that too. But if they want to get a pick and get an autograph, that'd be even better.
And you can drink the pints as well, Paul. I'll lay claim to that one. In fairness,
You know I can.
You held your own in Dublin a few months ago. I was very impressed with everything. Have you spoken to Eddie since the fight?
I have not. No, because when a guy I know or I train with loses a big fight like that, I like to, because I know how I'd feel.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more important people to talk to than myself. So I let his family talk to him, let him get some downtime, and hopefully in a few weeks or a month when he's wrangling back and thinking about what he wants to do next, I'll reach out to him if I don't see him in gym.
No, and Eddie, do you think that could be it for Eddie? Do you think Eddie might pack it in? We sort of maybe got that impression in his post-fight interview with Megan O'Leary.
Yeah, I think he'll take some time. I really do. I think it'll be a while. I think he'll wait until he's motivated to really get back to it. He put a lot into that one, as you have to when you're fighting the caliber of guy like Conor on the stage that those guys fought. Man, Madison Square Garden with that crowd, it had to be freaking. I mean, it was bananas in there. I mean, everybody I know that was there was like, it was crazy.
Look at the program they gave us. Hang on, I'll get it here and show the guys. It was pretty cool. The UFC did something cool for a change.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'll show it to you on Wednesday when I get to Belfast. But, Paul, in relation to you, you said to me there, the eye, you've had a fracture, you're waiting to resume sparring. There's a big card going to be coming up here in New York as well, close to your home. There's no sign of a, comeback to Philly at the moment. You must be looking at Buffalo or Brooklyn here in the Barclays Center.
Yeah, Brooklyn. Very cool part of New York, man. I don't know if you've been in Brooklyn. There's a lot of cool bars, a lot of cool things to do in that town. A lot of young crowd. That would be a super amazing place to fight. My one of my coaches, Daniel Gracie, teaches in Brooklyn a lot up there. So we'd have a home. I could do a lot of my camp in New York and
Those as well.
Yeah, so it would be awesome. Buffalo too, though. That's not too much of a fight. Yeah. I mean, any of those are fine.
We look back at the Trinaldo fight, Paul. Is there much you can take for that? Myself and PT talked about it on our podcast. Trinaldo is, one of the most awkward guys to fight in the UFC. He can drag you down to his level. You must have been incredibly frustrated with that fight, the way it panned out.
Yeah, I watch it, man, and one of the things I was hesitant again in that fight. It's something that's been kind of plaguing me a little bit, and skill wise, like, I honestly think strike for strike, I'm a better striker than him all over the board. I even think everywhere else I'm good, but like you said, he has a way of just getting you to go ugly with the fight, and I made a simple stupid mistake in the second when I let him do that little trip. I mean, that little trip, that's a nothing takedown. I shouldn't be giving a takedown like that up, but yeah, I just got to let it go in the next one. I was super disappointed in myself. Everybody's like, it was close. The judges apparently had a round apiece, and I could have gone away with that if I would have been more careful in the second round, because he had already cut me at that point. So even though the third round was close, I should have never let myself get ground and pounded like that and get the elbow. So, man, yeah, that one was super disappointing. And then I had to sit around in Brazil for a whole extra day until I flew out later that night. Crap city. I love that country. The people were great. That city, I'll never go back there again.
Where was it on?
Brasilia.
Okay, the capital. Yeah. Oh, UFC Brasilia. Sure, I know. I should know that. But Paul, why do you think? Have you put your finger on why you're not, letting go as much as you see it on Twitter as well? The fans are going, bro, you got to let go and things.
I know.
Why do you think it is?
One of the things I thought was like, well, I'm in there with these guys. I've been in there with a few big punchers recently, and like, maybe I'm hesitant because I don't want to get hit. Well, I don't know why that's bothering me, because I've been hit by all these guys and not even dropped yet. I take these punches on the chin, and I just don't. I don't punch when they're punching. I think that's what I've got to get better at, and I've already been starting to work on it. I've got to start not just attacking, defending. I've got to start getting better at in the middle of that exchange, finding their chin, finding my moments and just staying in the pocket. When I used to fight for Cage Fury and even earlier on in my career with the UFC, I just went for it more. And now I think that being in the UFC and we're always worried about, making that second part of the check and money and I've got a family now, and it's like too much shit has been on my mind, and I think I'm fighting to not lose versus going in there to kill my opponent. And now it won't be like that next time.
Have you been working with anyone, maybe a sports psychologist, to maybe clear up those issues? Is that something you?
That's something we've been talking about. Just to talk to somebody, and maybe something will come up that I wasn't even aware of, or maybe they can give me some kind of breakdown of how to think about fighting that will maybe make it easier for me to let it go. I don't know, but yeah, that is one of the things we talked about, and I'm going to look into that. I've still got some time until I'm cleared, so.
Is it maybe your opponent as well? Because as we mentioned, Ronaldo's a guy that he drags you down to make the fight dirty, and he's very good at that, bringing it down to his level. A lot of the guys, maybe I know, Edson's different, and Ross can make the fight dirty as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it maybe an opponent as well that someone, a good stylistic match, maybe a good striker?
Yeah, I think for him it was that. I think it was just I'm trying to make it a clean exchange, and he. You know what else it was too? He waited a lot more than I had anticipated when we took that fight. I'm like, oh, he's just gonna come at me blazing, and he gave me a lot more respect than he's given some of his other opponents. And because of I think my knees and the way I counter things and my kicks, he didn't rush at me. He didn't throw too many haymakers in a row. He got out of the exchanges quickly, which kind of left me swinging and missing. And I think a better game plan next time. And that's the other thing that I really want to get is somebody to really be the Mark Henry, break the stuff down, and that's in the works right now.
Who is that opponent, Paul? Who you're a guy, I know you don't like to talk a lot of shit, call anyone out, that sort of thing, but there must be someone you like, and that would be an exciting matchup for you, because I know you're a guy who likes to really put on a performance as well for the fans.
Yeah, you got to look at it the way the UFC works, and I don't think a lot of people realize this too. Is what I got to look at is who's coming off a loss now. It's not. I can't. There's a lot of guys that are on win streaks and in the top 10 and top 5 that, of course, I think I'd match up great against. Like, you got like a guy like Dustin Poirier. He's always an exciting fight, but even though he's coming off a loss, he's still way higher ranked than me. I know that's not a fight that's gonna happen. Michael Johnson, I think, would be an incredible fight. Another fight, he's way up there. Probably not. I'm probably looking at somebody that's maybe a little less known, a little, not as heard of.
Yeah.
Although Thiago Alvarez, he just lost, and he's trying to go to 55. If he can actually make weight, that would be an exciting fight as well.
Have you spoken, with Mark or Nick Catone about?
Talked a lot to Nick, and he's on the same page as me. My coach Aaron, who does most of my striking, all of us. Rami, the Muay Thai guy that I brought in for the last one. We all agree that if I just fought the way I sparred and the way I am in the training room, that I might be close to undefeated, give or take, a fight maybe with Edson, which was, I feel like I did let it go in that one a lot, and he's just a super talented guy. But, I feel like I should have been able to even do better against Berkman, better against Cruikshank. Definitely feel like I could have won that fight with Trinaldo, and let a lot of things slip. Pearson should have won that fight, in my opinion, but I let it slip by me by not being as aggressive.
Has there maybe the little bit of time off been therapeutic for you, Paul, as well? Because you've had a big year. Your dad's not well. You've Christine, your girlfriend. You've Ashling. There's been a lot of things going on in your life as well. And you to Ireland as well, and you indulged in 100 pints of Guinness.
Yeah, yeah. I'm insane, and my girl Christine can tell you, and my mom and everybody, I was immediately like, who's next? And my manager Rob, and I'm actually moving on to work with Sucker Punch Management now. Brian Butler, he's going to be over there in Ireland with us. Yeah, I need some time to chill out, and I have a lot of little injuries that I don't really talk about much. That my foot was bothering me. I pretty much, about my finger. I had pretty much dislocated my middle finger to the point where a bunch of things snapped in there, and I'm still barely able to make a fist. So that really slowed down that training camp. For the first few weeks, I couldn't box, and that's something me and Nick talked a lot about for this one is getting back to boxing, working with just boxing, letting my hands go. I used to box all the time. I used to go to these gritty ass gyms in North Philly with boxing coaches where the guys that I'm sparring, that's all they do is throw hands. So we're going to get back to at least once a week, just rounds of just throwing the hands, headgear, mouthpiece, 16-ounce gloves, and let it rip.
Awesome. Paul, when are you getting back in there? When are you going to be good to go? I know you need to get cleared with the doctor. What's the sort of timeline? Is it that Brooklyn card?
I think so, and I just had a CT scan again, and they said that everything is healing up, but we checked it after 5.5, 6 weeks. Sometimes they heal up that quick. This one looks like it's going to be 8 or 9 weeks. So probably by very beginning of December, I should be cleared to be doing, hopefully, knock on wood, to be able to spar. So that gives me more than enough time for a February card. If not, for some reason, I was looking at, there's some cool cards coming up, I think, in March as well. So I don't want to wait that long, but if it means I'm 100% healthy and I get a full 8 to 10 week camp, then that's what I'll do.
Well, maybe, they finally brought you over this side of the pond, for an event. I know you've been calling for a long time. You wanted to do some, of the fan, the meet and greets with the fans here. Obviously, you're going to be a guest fighter in Belfast. Maybe they're planning on putting you on the London card in March. That
is in March, right? Is that early March too? Yeah, that would be awesome, man.
And they're bringing you over as well, maybe.
Yeah, something. Yeah, so, yeah, I know Sean Shelby, who's taking over the 55ers. He's going to be there. I talked to my crew, and it's one of the things I'm going to try to do when I'm over there is maybe slip him a couple drinks and be like, "Yo, let's get a fight booked, even though I'm not cleared. Let's fucking go. I need a contract in my hand." That's the other thing I want to tell everybody when I'm over there too. I just signed a new 4-fight deal, so I still got a job. So that's good.
Excellent. Great stuff. Glad to hear. I'm sure there's a lot of people excited about that, Paul. Paul, one more for you. Obviously, you're getting to Belfast. We have an Irish mixed martial arts legend. He's calling it a day in Neil Seary against Ian McCall. That's going to be a phenomenal fight. What fight are you most looking forward to on this card?
Well, the rematch in the main event between Gegard. I always like that guy. I like Gegard Mousasi. Something about his calmness and, being able to fight the way he does. And his last few performances have just been really impressive. Obviously, who else? What's his name from Connor's team?
Artem Lobov.
I'm curious to see if he can ride off of McGregor's momentum here, and he's going to be looking to put on a show. But I've always been kind of hit or miss with that guy, so I want to see how he. Is
that a fight you take? Would you like it?
Man, I would. If he wins and he wants it, let's do it. But he's a 45er.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's fighting 45 at the moment. Yeah.
So one of us would have to change weights, and if you saw me right now, you would definitely not think that 45 was in my.
Burgers galore, Mr. Felder. Yes.
Yeah, man, burgers and weights. So diesel and fat at the same time.
Paul, it's always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you over in Belfast on Wednesday. I think I get there Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not even sure what day it is after the week here in New York. I'm looking forward.
You're not used to this. You guys, your bars close at like 11:30 at night. New York City doesn't close.
Yeah, 4 a.m. man. I was 8 o'clock wandering the streets this morning.
That's 4 a.m. Everybody, not any after hours or anything crazy like that. That's everybody.
I was out with Nate Diaz last night as well. Interesting guy. All right, Paul. It's been a pleasure.
All right, I will.